Here's a quick stretch program that I'm going to do after the run I just had. I wanted to video it anyway, so I thought I'll just, kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to use a bar here, but you don't have to. You can use a chair or the edge of a sofa, anything that you want to, just to raise the leg up a little bit. So I'm just going to take you through some leg stretches here. The first one, I'm going to bring the heel on top of the bar, and I'm keeping that back nice and straight. So that's stretching through the back of my thigh right now. As long as I turn towards that foot, I'm going to get it right up the back of my thigh. Now I can lean forward slightly, but what I don't want to do is arch through the back. I want to keep that back nice and straight, and that's going to help me work on these muscles here. Although I'm pulling the toe slightly in towards the knee here, I'm not going to really get a good calf stretch in this position. So although you might feel it in the calf, if the calf is tight, this is not the most effective way to stretch out through the calf, so I wouldn't recommend it. I'm going to take this into an inner thigh stretch now. So look how the toe's pointing up towards the ceiling here. You can take it to the side, and we're stretching through the inner thigh. I can't quite stand up fully tall here because I'm quite tight, so I'm off at a bit of an angle. But the more you stand up tall, the more you'll send that stretch into the inner thigh. And of course, you can lower the structure that you're using. So you can use the edge of a sofa, for example. That's nice and soft. So we're holding each of these stretches for about 15 to 20 seconds, and that should be enough to return them to their pre-exercise length. So if they've shortened during exercise, this takes them back to their natural length. I'm going to turn around now, coming into the hip stretch here, and I'm kind of shuffling in, and then I'm pushing that hip forwards. So as I push this hip forwards and down, I'm getting the stretch through the front of the hip and through the front of the thigh at the same time. So it's a double whammy. Now you could always shuffle back in and hold onto the foot here, but I quite like the idea of being able to press that hip forward. That gives me a good feeling of stretch. So we've done the back of the thigh, the inside of the thigh, the front of the thigh here, and now we have to do in towards the glute. So we're going to do that by taking this leg all the way up and then walking in towards it. I'm not loose enough to do this, so I'm coming up onto my tiptoe here, and I'm going to pull on this bar to stretch into the buttock muscles here. So the only other major muscle group in the legs that we need to work on now is the calf. And I'm going to take this same leg, so I've been working on the right leg. I'm going to take this right leg back behind me and push the heel down towards the floor. Now I'm using the bar as leverage here because it's increasing that stretch, and although you can't see it, you can see it in the mirror there. If I turn to the side, you might see it a bit more effectively. I'm still pushing down. Now what I'm going to do is, this is working through the chunky part of your calf muscle, but I want to get to the muscles that run down either side of the ankle. So what I'm going to do is lift the heel slightly and bend the knee. And you can feel that stretch moving down towards the ankle joint there. We'll do the whole lot on the other side from here. So we'll start with that hamstring stretch. We can pick the leg up, place it on whatever surface we're using, and make sure the hips are squared towards the feet here. So we're not turning them off to the side, but we're keeping them squared in. Keeping that back straight. You can lean forward, but still with a straight back. So what I don't want is this curling forward. So again, about 15 to 20 seconds. Should be about 15 seconds, really, after exercise. And then we're going to come into our inner thigh stretch. So we take the foot down to the side, and we're working on standing up tall. You're stretching all the way down through that inner thigh there. I like this stretch because it's just simple. You just kind of work your way round and then you're done. So you don't have to think about it. You're not really considering a whole bunch of different stretches. You're just getting yourself in one position and working your way through. So a bit of foot shuffling here, just to get the ideal position. And then we're going to be pushing this hip forward, stretching out through the front of the hip and through the front of the thigh. And once you're there, you can work on standing up taller and pressing that chest forward. 2 more to do here. We're going to do our glute stretch now. So we change position. We bring the leg up and we walk in. Much tighter on this side even than the other side. So this is not a very comfortable position for me to be in. It's already loosening off. But again, if you take it onto a lower surface, that makes it a lot easier. And then finally we'll come into our calf stretch from there. So we take this leg back behind, push it down onto the floor so the heel's pushing down, stretching all the way through that chunky calf muscle. Holding it there. Oh, that feels good. It must be really tight. And then we're going to lift the heel from the floor and bend that back knee slightly. And that stretch is going to come down in towards the ankle. So you'll feel it down through the sides of the calf and in towards your ankle there. So it doesn't take long to do, but if you've been out running or cycling and you've got to get those lower limbs stretched out, that's the way to do it. Okay, well done.